Hello, this is Frankly Tarot, and today we're going to do some community readings. Now, normally, what I do for community readings is I'll put a call out for people to read for, and then people will contact me with their questions or their concerns, and I'll do the readings for those individuals 3 to 5. But today we're going to do it a little differently. I'm going to do readings on 3 topics. And this idea was given to me by Mary in Serendipity. She has a YouTube channel here, and it's very charming. She and I exchanged readings, I think back in September. And her idea was to do a few topics and do a reading on each topic. And today we're going to do 3 topics. We're going to do creativity, family, and career. This way, I think that anyone watching this can get something out of those readings. If you have concern about one or all of those topics, you can get something out of all 3 instead of just one person getting something out of each individual reading. So that's what we're going to do. I have in my hand, I have my Centennial Rider Waite, which I love, Waite Smith. And then over there, I have all my other tarot decks. We might pull some out depending on how I feel. So let's get started. We'll start with creativity. Okay, so we have the shadow of my camera in my hands, and I have a kind of a crude setup. So that's what we're working with. So let's start with creativity. I'm going to start with my Rider Waite, my Centennial Rider Waite, and I'm just going to kind of shuffle a little bit. Now, this is, whoops, let's do timing. We're just a few hours away from the new year, 2021. We always have lots of hope for any new year. I think especially there's a lot of hope for 2021. And so this is going to be how to approach your creativity in the coming year. So we'll do a nice, one of her paintings in here, but it's not going to come up. We'll do a nice 3-card reading. Try and get everything not in the shadow and not too much in that glare. Okay. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Moon, and the 9 of Swords. The Moon and also the 9 of Swords kind of point us in the direction of the shadow, of scary thoughts, of nightmares, perhaps some anxiety, some depression. I'm not going to tie those things to 2020 because they're universal. Anxiety and depression, frightening happenings, all these things, they happen every year and they happen to everybody. Not to everybody every year, luckily. But I think that this, going into the new year, our creativity is going to be dealing with these shadow topics. And the Queen of Pentacles kind of guides the way. She even holds this bright light, the pentacle in her hand. She's contemplating it, and she's going to let her brightest part of her guide her through these frightening times. These are more like frightening thoughts. Even if you have, like me, been able to make your way through this pandemic with your paycheck intact, your family intact, etc., there's still thoughts and feelings, anxieties, depressions, bad dreams that can haunt you, that can prey on you. They're from within. And the Queen of Pentacles is telling us a few things. First of all, the Queen of Pentacles is a generous spirit. You need to approach yourself with a generous spirit. And then, since this reading is about creativity, you need to let that creative part of you guide you through the difficulties ahead and the aftermath of any difficulties behind or from the past. If you're prone to things like anxiety, bad dreams, difficulty sleeping, besides pursuing professional avenues of professional help, I would also suggest that indulging your creative side can offer some comfort, can offer some mitigation. When I was in college, I went through an awful, awful period of depression. It was textbooks, sleeping 10 to 12 hours a day, having a hard time, getting to class. I was really only motivated by the necessity to get to class. Didn't care about eating. But I found I was an arts major anyway, but I found that just taking out my sketchbook and drawing something was extremely helpful. I also had found later on in that development, I found keeping a journal extremely helpful. I won't go back and read those journals. It's the act of like dumping these fears and shadows into another medium, whether it's a sketchbook or a journal or what have you. Your creative side can really be guided by your creativity, and I think that will help you, me, us kind of get through these difficult times ahead, and what is haunting us from our past. So the Queen of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Nine of Swords. Okay, let's move on to family. Do we want to use? Let's stick with good old Rider-Waite. I'm going to shuffle though. Now this Rider-Waite comes with some extra cards. Do I have them? Oh, I put them all in here. So I'll show you this card. It's upside down and backwards. Where's the thing? Okay, so the Rider-Waite comes with these extra, I think, 4 cards, which they're not part of the tarot deck. They're just illustrations that Pamela Coleman-Smith had done beyond the Rider-Waite deck. She was an artist and illustrator, and these are some other illustrations. She did more than just the tarot deck, but I have put them in my deck for some reason. So we'll see. Okay, so now we're going to talk about family, and I want to say a couple of things beforehand. One is that family is as family does. We have the family we're born into or adopted into, that you grow up with, etc. And some people's families are better or worse than other people's families. And I just want to say that family, whatever it means to you, okay? Oh, here's one of those extra pictures. Okay. Earlier today I watched a video by Lenan Smith, and she mentioned that she considers the Fool to be the spark, that the stepping, the lifting up of the foot, that specific, or maybe that one, part of the image is the spark of whatever you're working with. And I really like that idea, and now we have the Fool coming up as the first card in this reading. And I'm going to take that idea of it being the spark and combine it with the idea of family, which is that whatever family, your family of origin, even if you were born in one country and adopted as an infant to a family in another country, that very beginning has shaped you somehow. Your family, your first family of origin, has shaped you somehow. That's the spark of who you are now and what you are becoming. The second image, which, let's see what it's from. Lovers, illustrated from a scene from Deirdre, Act 3 in The Green Sheaf, number 7. I don't know what that means. I get it's either a play or an opera or something like that. I'll have to look that up. So Deirdre is an old Irish heroine, and I don't remember her story, but it's kind of one of those sad love stories. I'm going to suggest that this image can speak to our family as something impermanent, something that is not necessarily permanent, doesn't have to be permanent. And there's no guilt or shame if your family that you've either come from or you've created for yourself is not permanent for whatever reason. You know, my mother, father that I was born to, neither are alive today, and one of them died when I was a child. It was not a permanent setup, almost from the beginning. And then other families, they break up for other reasons. Maybe you and your siblings are all scattered. Maybe you or someone in your family is estranged. The impermanence does not mean the love is not genuine. The love can be or can have been genuine and true. So just because it's no longer there does not mean it wasn't genuine. I think that the Ace of Cups shows us that family love, no matter what the family dynamics are, is and can be genuine and true, even if it doesn't last. However, overall, I sort of feel like this spread speaks to a hopeful family situation, a hopeful and loving family situation. Whether you're going to take this to mean it's what you want, it's what you're capable of creating, it's what you have, it's what you want to develop with the family that you have, or whatever. This is a hopeful, this spread gives us a hope of love, of familial love. And I think that's great. I also kind of think that with the Ace of Cups here, the spread is showing us that there's a movement towards a different family situation. Whether it's developing, whether the old one is developing and changing, or if you're going to just say, I need a new tribe. I hate that word, tribe. I don't know why I used it. So, but yeah, we definitely have here a hopeful and loving situation. Okay, career. I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to stick with my good old Rider-Waite. It's a workhorse for me, and I've been using it since I started tarot. Not this specific deck. I've had a few different decks, but this is my current favorite Rider-Waite. Okay, let's do some cutting of the deck. I don't like to riffle shuffle on camera because I don't like the noise it makes. So, all right. So this is for career. We're going to look at career, jobs, work, the way you make your living. I was going to say money, but some people do make a living, but not necessarily by making money. I'm thinking of maybe a stay-at-home parent, what have you. That's definitely a career. It's definitely work. It's definitely a genuine and proper job, but it doesn't bring in any money. Okay. Oh, no, there are those images. Okay. I think way earlier in the year, I did a career reading for somebody, and or I was talking about it on my videos, and I was like, at that point, the unemployment rate was down around 4%, at least in my state. And I was like, you're going to find a job. Now it's not so certain. But nonetheless, here's what our career is. We have this image of this mother and child, and the child seems to be taking some first steps towards something, reaching out towards something. And the mother is showing a lot of encouragement. She's offering support, perhaps guidance, and just kind of keeping a general eye out. I would say that for career, this card specifically points to or suggests that reaching for something new, something that catches your interest, catches your imagination, might be worthwhile reaching out for. But you want to, whether you're going to give it to yourself or look in other ways, you want some guidance, and you want someone you want to look for someone who has your back as you take these first steps towards something new and interesting. I mean, it's really the figure of the child seems to be an older child, but the spirit of the child is almost like a toddler who's just like reaching out for something that we would consider mundane, but they have wonder, a sense of wonder. Now, the next card goes almost in exactly the opposite direction. There's despair, a lack of hope, and a lot of despair in this image. I'll take that back. I'm going to say there's despair in this image, but there's also hope, because this part, the stained glass window of the pentacles, is indicative. It symbolizes that hope. It symbolizes, today anyway, for me, I say this shows us the light at the end of the tunnel. So this gives us almost like the opposite feeling. And what I think it is telling us is that while you reach out in this for whatever's new, there's definitely going to be a chance for failure, or a chance for misstepping. I'll say it's chance for misstepping, going about it in the wrong way. And that's why you need this guide, or this mentor, is going to be important. And I don't want to. This mentor may be an actual person, an actual mentor, or someone who knows better than you do, but it can also represent just your own ability to educate yourself before you take a risk. The child is taking a risk. Children is what children do, I think. They'll put something in their mouth. They don't really know that it's a risk. They're just curious. But the adult represents that wisdom of knowing what the risk is, and also understanding that it needs to be taken. I feel like the emperor is giving us an idea of what can be. And it's also telling us, it's also balancing out this idea of reaching for something that you don't know too much about. And he balances that out because he does know about it. He is very experienced and wise, and maybe a little rigid. Any tarot card can offer insight. It can offer hope and warning. I don't want to say light and shadow, but I'll say that, for instance, here this is telling us, yes, it could be worthwhile to reach out for something a little unknown, something new, something wondrous. At the same time, we're warned to make sure that someone has your back, even if it's yourself that has your back. Someone has to have your back. And the emperor shows us a kind of someone at the top of their game, which is an awesome place to be, but at the same time may have gone a little too conservative and a little too rigid. By conservative, I mean unwilling to change. He only does what he knows will work for himself. And then, of course, the Five of Pentacles is almost very clearly a hope/warning type of card, because we have these two distraught figures, and then we have this bright golden window with 5 pentacles. So I think I'm gonna what I'll say for this reading, this particular 3 cards, is that yes, I would encourage you. These cards are encouraging us to reach for something, but to understand the risks and the fact that there is a chance for falling down, as well as this chance of succeeding. And the way to mitigate, and the way to balance and navigate that, is to keep in mind this mentor and this experience. Okay, I hope that this was fun, and I mean, it was fun. I don't hope it was fun, because it was fun, but I hope that it was helpful and, above all, interesting. If you have any other ideas for topics that you might like to see me do, leave a comment or contact me in some other way, and we'll do these again. Have a great day. A happy new year to everybody, and may all your dreams come true. Thank you, and I will see you again soon.